Hey guys, what's going on? I Live with My Dad's coming back with another video. So today, I know it's really early, but if you're like me and you love fantasy football, you're already starting to think about it, starting to think about who you're going to take in the first round, who are going to be the big sleepers, and who you think is going to be the standout rookie that could be really big fantasy value. So I kind of started to make a list today, and I'm going to go over my biggest fantasy sleepers. I'm going over the quarterback, running back, receiver and tight end position today. Defense and kicker, I mean, that's kind of like a waiver wire kind of thing, unless you have like a top tier defense or a really consistent kicker. But personally, I like to waiver wire those guys. So I'm going to start with the quarterback position. So going over sleepers, the biggest sleeper I think that's going to be in this draft, this fantasy football year, is going to be Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I had him actually at the end of last year because my team was crap. But man, did he put up some numbers. I mean, not only with his rushing attack, but also his passing attack was really good as well. I actually remember the game he played against the Jets. I mean, I was watching that game and I couldn't believe how talented this kid is. I mean, he was just a rookie last year and he really didn't have any receivers or running backs to be able to help him. And I think this year, with another year under his belt, you could argue that scouts are going to know what to expect against him now. But, I mean, this kid, he has a lot of talent, and I think no one really realizes that. And I think he's going to be really good fantasy value. I don't think he's a week-to-week starter, but he's definitely someone that you can have on your bench that can be a good fill-in if you have a bad matchup or on a bye week. So Josh Allen definitely takes my first sleeper, and he's going to be someone that I'm going to draft and put on my bench for sure. He was really productive at the end of last year, and even though it was kind of garbage time for the Bills, he almost got them back into playoff contention. So I was very impressed by that. Second one, so this one's very surprising for me because I've never really liked him, but Derek Carr. I think he could be a sleeper. I was looking at the rankings. I believe he's 24th or 25th in the QB rankings that I looked at. So with Derek Carr, obviously he just got Antonio Brown, which is obviously going to help him a bit when it comes to being able to find a receiver downfield. Basically what Big Ben did during his time at Pittsburgh was just throw it up and hoping that Antonio Brown would catch it. So I think Derek Carr can actually benefit a lot from Antonio Brown being on the field. And after they drafted Josh Jacobs, I think that's going to be able to balance out their rushing attack a bit. I love beast mode, but at this point in his career, I don't think he's as much of a threat as Josh Jacobs will be this year. And I think teams are going to really have to focus on handling that run game, especially if Oakland can get their O-line together. So I think with the balanced attack that they're going to have, plus Antonio Brown, I think Derek Carr could possibly be a sleeper. I think he's ranked right now the 26th or 27th position in QB rankings. So he's definitely one sleeper that I'd pay attention to, maybe to have on my bench. I'm not, because I'm going to have Josh Allen, but I think he's definitely someone else that you can look for to maybe put up some numbers once him and AB get that chemistry really going together. Now to the running back position. I think one guy who's really going to benefit from all this really good offense in KC is going to be Damian Williams. They obviously have a really good passing attack. Everyone knows Mahomes is one of the best QBs in the league right now, and Damian Williams has sneakily been a really consistent running back for them. Knowing that Spencer Ware is out now, they did sign, I believe it was Carlos Hyde. It was Carlos Hyde that they signed, who's obviously going to be a good backup. But I think Damian Williams has the job. He's been there longer. He's been pretty consistent. So looking at how KC's passing offense is, that he can do a really good job balancing it out in the run game. He can score some touchdowns. He can do really well. I think he's going to be a really good running back too, if you can draft him in that position. That's what I'm probably going to try to do because I think even if the Chiefs get a really good lead, obviously going to be running the ball a lot more. So I think being able to draft Damian Williams is going to be a really good move for your fantasy team. Another guy that I really don't understand how he doesn't have more attention drawn to him, Philip Lindsay. He had a fantastic year last year on a really bad team. I mean, this guy was putting up great numbers, undrafted free agent, and he did a wonderful job. And no, I saw the numbers he was putting up in the fantasy leagues at the end of the season, and man, he was really producing. No one's really, come around to say, Philip Lindsay's one of the better running backs in the league, but he really is. He puts his head down. He gets those yards. He'll get in the end zone a lot. And with the Broncos upgrading their offensive line a bit, and with having a fluky quarterback in Joe Flacco, maybe they'll lean more on Drew Lock. I'm hoping for their sake. But I think Philip Lindsay is going to get a lot of touches. Maybe not in the late game, but definitely first half. He's going to put up a lot of numbers. So he's definitely one guy that I'm actually going to try to get maybe in my running back one position. Try to get some good receivers because running backs are really hard to find. But I think those two guys I just named are really good sleepers, and I think they're going to put up really good numbers this year. Then the third one is Darius Geis. So obviously tore his ACL last year. I think he's a really, really good player. And, this guy is taking all of his time in rehab to really focus on getting stronger, getting faster. And he was a really good running back at LSU. So now bringing it to the Redskins, I think he's going to be a really good, ground and pound guy. Obviously, with Dwayne Haskins at the QB, they're going to need a running game. So Darius Geis is definitely going to be someone who's going to get a lot of touches, especially early on when Haskins is trying to adjust to the jump from college to the NFL. But Geis is definitely someone who you can watch for, especially early in the season, to put up some good numbers. If you have like an injury or bye week early, he's definitely someone I'd slide into that starting position, maybe around week 4, week 5. And then thereafter. Now going on to the receivers. So one guy I have down who can be a big hit or miss guy is Mike Williams. So knowing that Keenan Allen's the guy in LA, I think Mike Williams has solidified himself in that receiver 2 spot now that Tyrell Williams is gone. And man, this guy can get up and make plays, man. He's a really good player. If he can stay on the field and stay healthy, I think he'll get a lot of receptions this year. The big thing with him in the last couple of years was not only injuries, but getting consistent touches. I mean, you could watch a Chargers game, and you'd see Mike Williams would have a reception for like 59 yards and a touchdown, but that's all he would get. So I think they're going to really try to work him more into the offense this year. And I think if the Chargers want to find success and get into the playoffs again, Mike Williams is going to have to be the guy that they go to a bit more. Next guy, Sammy Watkins. So everyone knows what's going on with Tyreek Hill right now. It's not looking great for him. So Sammy Watkins would slide into that wide receiver 1 position if Hill was unable to play this year. Obviously, they still have Kelsey, so a lot of teams are going to have to strategize for that. But Sammy Watkins would benefit really well from any absence that Tyreek Hill would have. Obviously, they haven't released Tyreek Hill yet, but it's not looking good for him. So Sammy Watkins is definitely a guy. He's got some speed. He has, similar stuff to Tyreek Hill. Obviously not the same speed, but he has the same kind of skills. So I think he's someone that could definitely benefit from Hill being gone. And if you want to dig even deeper on that team, Chris Conley is someone who could also turn into a big touchdown machine as well. Lastly, Christian Kirk. So this is all going to depend on if Kyler Murray really develops into that good quarterback that the Cardinals are hoping he will. Obviously, with Kingsbury putting in a new offense over there, I think it's going to be really good to see the difference in the Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury obviously is known for his really good offense. So not only do they have Larry Fitzgerald over there, but they got Christian Kirk, who showed some promise last year, even with Josh Rosen not really playing that well. So I think he's definitely one guy that you can grab late. Even if you wanted to bench him for the first week or two, I think you'll see some good numbers coming out of him early, and I think they'll continue later on in the season, especially if the Cardinals are fighting from behind. They're going for garbage time touchdowns, or even if they are competing, I think he'll still be one of the big featured receivers, obviously, besides Larry. And then lastly, going into tight ends. So this guy really picked it up at the end of the year last year, Chris Herndon. Him and Darnold have a really good relationship chemistry-wise. Herndon got a lot of targets. And obviously knowing that the outside receivers between Robbie Anderson, Jermaine Kearse, they're very injury prone, so they miss a lot of time. Herndon has proved to be pretty good. I think he did miss one game last year, but he's been really good, grabbing receptions, touchdowns. He's definitely going to be a sleeper in the tight end position, even though it's kind of hard to really look at the tight end position as sleepers, but I think Herndon would definitely fit into that category. And then last player I have, on the rankings I had, he was way farther down than I expected, but Jack Doyle. He's been Andrew Luck's favorite tight end. I know Ebron was there last year and put up a lot of great numbers, but Doyle, that was mostly when Doyle was hurt. But if Doyle can stay healthy and on the field, man, he's a productive tight end. He'll get a lot of red zone targets. That's really all you're looking for out of a tight end, is to get red zone targets and maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns. So Doyle is definitely someone who I'd look for in the later rounds if he actually stays as low ranked as he is now. But those are the guys that I have as big sleepers. Obviously, there's going to be a couple more. Love to know what you guys want to hear or want to see more of, if I should do more fantasy stuff. And I'd like to hear what you guys think about who you think is going to be a big sleeper this year. And I'd love to have conversations about it. I love talking fantasy football. I'm going to do a lot of fantasy football talk once I start doing my gameplays, which will be coming at the end of the month, I hope. I do have to get a nice video camera to be able to increase the video quality and stuff like that. But definitely let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you want to see more fantasy stuff, definitely like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm really excited to start getting this fantasy season going. So thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.